I don't know what else I can really say. This this is why we love the sport. This is why we love this game. This has game of the year potential. This might be the game of the whole season, y'all. Game 1, Eastern Conference Finals 2025. We gonna be going back in history to rewatch this game. That's how electric it was. In my notes, the Knicks have the last note I have in my notes, 17-point lead, 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 17-point lead. I stopped taking notes. Boom, that was it. New York Knicks look amazing. Karl Anthony Towns finally shooting three-pointers, something we've been asking him to do this entire playoff run. Jalen Brunson is unguardable, so much so that we ended up seeing like Ben Shepherd, who didn't play the whole damn game, come in and try to just mess something up because Neesmith is in foul trouble. Nembhard is in foul trouble. Come on, Ben Shepherd, do something. I stopped taking notes. That was it. New York goes into game number 1, Eastern Conference Finals at home and win convincingly. And then the stuff started to change. This Pacer team makes 0 sense. For them to be able to do this basically 3 different times in one postseason run, even if they don't win the series, makes them a legendary, oh, you remember this team. Regardless of what happens in the series, if they lose in this one, they go to the finals, they win, they go to the finals and lose, I will remember the 2025 Indiana Pacers as a team that you could never put away. Up by 17. And then Neesmith turned into Steph Curry, turned to Tracy McGrady, turned into a 13-year-old me. That one time I did a 3-point competition and hit 5 threes in a row in the corner off the rack. Y'all was sleeping on me back then. I don't know if I hit a corner 3 since then. He does that thing. And then you get the moment where sometimes it always boils down to like, make your free throw, kids. Game 1, OKC versus Denver. We talked about how Chet Holmgren got fouled. He went to that line. He did this big-ass exhale. And me and the guys who were watching this together was like, he at least missing one of these. He missed both. OG Anunoby get to the line. He does this big old exhale. He missed the first one. And not only did he miss it, that was one of the hardest misses I've seen from OG Anunoby all night long. But it ain't just him, because Karl Anthony Towns also missed some free throws. Make your free throws, kid. This game is over in regulation. But for me, the enjoyer of ball, the guy that has no stakes in this, I'm so happy they missed because, man, did it lead to a legendary moment. I'm in Discord. I'm watching this with Pierre because Pierre is a big Knicks fan. And we all mute up because, streaming is weird. I'm on Max. They on TV. We don't know if our games are synced up, so we all muted. I kind of spoiled. Tyrese Halliburton took that shot. I said, no fucking way. The ball bounced. And like reminiscent of Kawhi Leonard one, and not in the amount of bounces, but how long the shot was in the air before it finally cashed out. And Tyrese Halliburton, he's good at playing the heel, especially in New York, especially after last year's series. He was so quick. Reggie Miller's on the call. He is so quick to give him the good old, but his foot was on the line. Ooh, you definitely don't want to lose this game now, Halliburton. Because that is going to be worn on shirts in game number 2 and game number 5 and game number 7 if we get that. Because you gave the choke symbol the game. They choked it at that point, but I choked it away. Overtime comes around. And the Knicks, I feel like in this whole stretch, they got so flustered where they lost all of their defensive principles. There were many times, again, watching this game together, and I have it in my notes, where it felt like they didn't know if they were going to play that drop coverage that they played in like early in the game where Tyrese Halliburton had 12, 14 points in the second quarter against that drop coverage. Were they switching? And in overtime, it felt like they were just flipping between the two, and so much so that they didn't know what the hell they were doing. The Obi Toppin dunk that should have been an and one was them. Are we switching? Are we just blitzing here? Are we doing what? It was nasty. And the Pacers are the last team you can do that against. This had been one of the toughest series for me to predict. Originally, I picked Pacers in 7, then eventually I flipped it to Knicks in 7. That's how wishy-washy it was. And when I was going for the Knicks, or predicting that the Knicks were going to win, I was thinking about the size of like Mitchell Robinson, Karl Anthony Towns, and how the offensive rebound and those extra opportunities could play a part. And today, it kind of did until it didn't. I was thinking about the big wings and how they can deter some of the stuff that the Indiana Pacers wanted to do. I thought OG Anunoby, until the last 6 minutes of regulation, was really good tonight. I thought Mikal Bridges really good tonight. But all of that goes away when you blow a 17-point lead. Tyrese Halliburton was elite. Some of the finishes he had, one of the finishes he had, I don't remember if it was in the midst of the run to end the fourth quarter. Like I said, I stopped taking notes. Or that was early in the overtime where he gets so much contact, he's hanging in the air and he flips it over his head. That is a tough finish. And it was such good defense by the Knicks that it was like, what could you really do? Josh Hart went up straight, just completely straight. Nothing you can do but finish. Or tip your cap that he did finish that. Pascal Siakam, one of my last notes was talking about Pascal Siakam, who didn't impact this game positively at all. I thought early in this game he was doing a really good job of getting out early in the break, and whether it was him finishing or somebody else finishing, he got out there, and it reminded me of back during his championship one with the Raptors. There was that one meme that was like, anytime the opposing team takes a shot and it's the dude running down the street, because that's who Pascal Siakam was at that point of his career, where he was just really a transition player. Obviously, he's done so much. Kids. He's done so much to evolve his game, but early in the game, I thought that's what he was providing for the team. And then eventually, Karl-Anthony Towns just kind of shut off his water. There was the one possession where he shut off his water 2 possessions in a row. I'm like, oh, this is a different Karl-Anthony Towns out here. And then eventually, I mean, he didn't have a good game, but it doesn't really matter anymore. You know, there were some questionable things down the stretch for Rick Carlisle. At least that's what I thought, but none of it matters because they won, right? You get the foul trouble from Nembhard, and it's like, okay, who's going to be that guy? And it ended up being Ben Shepherd. And Ben Shepherd's stat line is what? What do we have? Is 7 minutes played, 1 assist, 0 from 1 from the field, a plus 14. But I promise you, a lot of the times, at least it felt like this was the perfect matchup for Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson absolutely was feasting when he saw Ben Shepherd on the court with him. And I'm like, okay, I know that Nembhard right now has 5 fouls, but eventually you got to get your best defenders out there. You got to see Miles Turner basically not close his game. And I'm like, okay, what's that about? But again, none of it actually matters. Legitimately, none of it actually matters anymore because they went on this run. And whether you call it fool's gold or what, this team is up 1-0. They just took home court advantage in New York. And New York was so loud. I got people there, or I know people there that were saying that, like, they walking around the concourse, they don't see a single Pacers jersey. Like, this is 100% New York City vibes, New York City hoops, and nobody there was really going for the Pacers, and that's what it felt like, and it didn't matter. This team has been so ready for the moment, this entire playoff run, that, like, I don't know how anybody can look at it and think that any of the runs that they've been going on is, like, fictional. Like, sure, they've had some injury luck, but look what they've been able to do. Whether it be the game against the Bucks and when they get into overtime, whether it be the game against the Cavs where Max Strus throws that dumbass pass and turn it over, or this game, this team is never going to give up. And you do see a lot of the time in sports in general, it is easy to be like, okay, we're up by so-and-so. We could just sleepwalk our way through the rest of this game. You can't do that against this Pacers team. You just can't. I don't know what else I could really say. I thought that for what it was worth, I thought that the Knicks' depth and their bench played a huge role in them getting to the point where they were up by so much. Mitchell Robinson played a really good game other than him getting lost in that one play. Or I guess 2 plays, because he got lost on the Obi Toppin dunk, and then on the putback, that was also Obi Toppin, was it? Obi Toppin from the left corner, putback dunk. Mitchell Robinson's just in no man's land, and then on the dunk that Obi Toppin got too. So maybe I'm going to take some of that have a good game thing away from me. 2 of the most important plays you got lost on. But before that, he was having such a good impact where he comes into this game, and the Pacers at this point didn't miss a shot. That's at least what it felt like in that first quarter. He comes in, get a couple offensive rebounds immediately, and it leads to open opportunities. Miles Bridges did a really good job throughout the course of this game. Cameron Payne, 2 of his fouls are like and ones, and him like faking like he wanted to take a charge, but he didn't actually take the charge. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing on the court? But like, their depth pieces were good. While on the other side of things, the Pacers' depth pieces in the same time wasn't very good. Like you got a run by TJ McConnell that was pretty electric, but like TB Thomas Bryant was not grabbing boards. He wasn't doing anything offensively. He was flopping when he got grazed in the chin, and it was like, oh, this is not looking good. But the Knicks had it all. And this is just one of them tough-ass games to win or to lose because your best player, Jalen Brunson, 43 points, 60% from the field. He was amazing today. I sometimes still believe that he's overtaxed, and this Pacers team kind of showcased some of that, some of the turnovers they ended up having, and some of the close call turnovers they ended up not having, like when they trap him in the corner, which I want to say, matter of fact, I'm all over the place, but I do want to say this. In that moment of time, I've never seen so many NBA players afraid of the ball. Josh Hart's the one inbounded. They've been putting full court 94 feet pressure on Jalen Brunson all game long, trying to wear him down. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to wear him down and make them get into their actions late. It's a smart move by Rick Carlisle. Please excuse the kids screaming. You're going to probably hear that a lot over the next couple of years. We got another kid on the way in a couple months. So Josh Hart's inbound. Jalen Brunson's the only one up there. They got 2. They got one on the inbound and one on Jalen Brunson. Nobody else is come to play. Mitchell Robinson's on the court. Mitchell Robinson V-lines to the rim because the last thing he want to do is get fouled and go to the free throw line in this game that's that close. Woo, that's understandable. But the rest of the guys on the court are afraid to come to the ball. So you inbound it to Jalen Brunson, and the dude that was on ball comes over, and now you're trapping him on his side of the court, and he's got to try to make a ridiculous play, try to dump it off of, I don't remember who was guarding him, try to dump it off of him, and luckily it missed, and it ended up in OG Anunoby's hands, and that's how we get to the point where OG Anunoby misses that one free throw. So many people, like I've just seen it so much in this playoff, seem like they're afraid of the ball when the free throw game comes around. And you got to go into that line with that confidence. You got to go into that line and hit them shots. And they didn't have it. Karl-Anthony Towns did the one thing that I've been asking for, right? He has killed the Pacers all regular season in this matchup. And again, tonight with his 35 points. Take the 3-pointers because they will be there against this team. And in some of the previous series, he had games where he's 0 for 1, 1 for 2, 1 for 3. And it's like, damn, Karl-Anthony Towns, you're the self-proclaimed best three-point shooting big of all time, best three-point shooting center of all time. We want to see that happen. And some of it's because their offense is starting so high up that they're pushing him away from the three-point line. So if you look at his three-point shots throughout the playoffs before this game, a lot of them are like logo threes, 30-footers, 31-footers sometimes. And in this game, he shot it. And I love that for him because it opens up the game so much more because now we have to treat you as if you are Karl-Anthony Towns again. Right? He had a couple really big shots in this game. And the one bad part is, the last possession of the game, Jalen Brunson airballs to 3, or maybe it's skip the rim, regardless. They get the offensive rebound. Cat gets it, and I'm just thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't rush it. And he did. And they miss. They tried to crash the glass off him, yada, yada, yada. This is a tough game to lose. It is a demoralizing loss. Very far from the end of the series, but a very demoralizing loss. Because I thought for 42 minutes, you were the best team. For 42 minutes, you were the best team. And you lost. And sometimes that's all it takes for the other team to be good for the next, that's 42 minutes. Let's do some math. A handful of minutes. All it takes is for a handful of minutes at the right time, at the right level, and boom, you can win. This Aaron Nesmith stuff is crazy. When I was previewing the series, the one thing I was thinking about that made me I started Pacers and flipped to Knicks, was like, damn, this three-point shooting the shooting in general is just ridiculous. With Turner shooting, Nembhard is shooting, and Nesmith specifically shooting, do I trust him to be able to do that again? This motherfucker just hit 8 threes out of 9. 8. You think about regression? No, regression to the means. Not with Nesmith. He was shooting 50% from 3 for the majority of this regular season. His true shooting percentage is a 101.6 tonight. One of the threes he hit, the biggest one of when they come off the screen, which I want to say shout out to Rick Carlisle because it is so easy to kind of go away from the guy that's hot and go to your star player. But the guy that was hot was really hot, and he drew up a play for him out of the timeout. Josh Hart slips and falls, and he takes one step to the side and pulls up. And then the very next play, Josh Hart is in the action on the offense side of the ball. Josh Hart slips and falls too. Hey, get rid of them Kobe 6s, man. Go get a different sneaker. Go get it because he failed so much. He slipped so much in this game. It was kind of mind-blowing to me. But game of the year, man. I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't care. People saying it was going to be a bad matchup for the NBA just because it's not, some elite superstardom on it ain't Bron, it ain't Curry, it ain't KD, it ain't the guys we're normally seeing, bro. This hoops is elite, man. You can't convince me otherwise. Shout out to Reese, shout out to Cat, shout out to Brunson, shout out to Nesmith. I need 6 more of these, please. I would be so sad if this is a quick series because that game was just everything I could have ever wanted and more.